The Titans need to get it together, man. It ain't gonna happen this year. I'm gonna rock with the Titans. I'm about to go to the rest of the home games the rest of the year. I'm gonna commit to that. You know what I mean? Show some support. But I have a question. Cam says once he's able to get comfortable and do him, it's over, right? And I believe it.
Right.
What type of offense do you think will best suit Cam? I'm actually going to answer what I think first. I think he's wearing that number 1, they might as well bring the run and shoot back. You know what I'm saying? Like, spread it out, let him get quick passes out, and move the ball methodically downfield. Take your big plays when you need them. What you got?
I've been asking for that, all season, boy. I think, this kid, he is an up-tempo guy. He's energetic. He wants to make big plays. He wants to get he's an up-tempo, sense of urgency's high type of guy, right? Sending him out in a methodical, slow-paced offense where you're asking him to read defenses, make adjustments, and those type of things won't fit his game right now. Giving him the ability to spread this offense out, 3-step game, get the ball out of his game, a ball quick, and I'll have those opportunities to take shots down the field when they're there. Is I think going to be suitable, as you stated, the run and shoot offense, man. This is a kid where you just don't go out there and ask him to be a Peyton Manning and look over a defense and make adjustments to put them in the right situation to be successful. I don't see that being Cam's game. I see him being the up-tempo type of guy that likes to push pressure on the defense, which will also allow, as up-tempo offenses allow vanilla-style defenses. You have to get in the coverage that's going to be shown. You can't do a lot of disguising. You have to show me immediately what you're going to run against me, which allows me to make a lot better pre-snap reads, and I just don't think he's having the opportunity to do so. If they're able to do that, I think his operation will be a lot better. But outside of his operation, when I look at this film, he has to get back to the fundamentals of being a quarterback, which is a solid base and a solid up body. A lot of times I'm seeing him in these God modes, these hero modes, want to make big plays. His footwork is terrible and his body posture is leaning a lot of times. And as you know, until you perfect the fundamentals of your craft, you can't go out there and make the spectacular throws and those type of things.
That being said, what type of coach do you think is needed for this Titans team?
With you, I greatly think that they are in need of a physical for first and foremost. He has to be a physical-minded coach. I don't care whether he's an offensive coach or a defensive coach. He has to be a physical coach. This team and what they've been going through, if this team is not built on its offensive line and defensive line, then it's going to be a long rebuild. This is where they put their trust, and understanding that is going to be the foundation of this team moving forward for the next at least 3 to 5 years, especially with Jeffrey Simmons being there, Christian Berry on the offensive side, and those young guards, and hoping that these tackles turn around for them, and make some good out of these draft picks and late them. But other than that, I don't care whether it's an offensive, defensive coach. My main thing is just making sure that the next coach comes in with a real plan. I don't feel like,
Bingo.
Yeah, I don't feel like Callahan came in with the understanding of where he wanted to direct his team, whether they were going to be an offensive team or a defensive team, whether they were going to be a run first, run stopper, whether they were going to put their hats in, quarterback sacks on the defense, or whether they were going to put their hats in the air on, with Cam coming in. I don't think they were ever had a true identity of what they wanted to be as a team. And for me, it's important, whether whoever they bring in has to have a real understanding of what identity he wants to bring to this team, what their philosophy would be on both sides of the ball with a clear understanding. If you're bringing in a defensive coach, don't bring in a defensive coach coach that doesn't understand the offensive side of the ball. That's not going to help Cam, and understanding that, assistant coaches are very, very important, as you know, Bull, especially when you're looking at this situation with the offensive coordinator now not being the play caller. You bring in a guy and you give him a title, and now he's no longer holding the title without the job responsibility. It's not going to help.
Does that mean that they don't trust him? Do they not trust him to make the play call? That's backwards. Why would you make him the OC and then jump him for somebody else?
Yeah, and that was my whole thing, boy, because at the end of the day, if I, as a head coach, am coming to my coordinators and telling them they're not doing the job, the last thing I'm going to let you do is keep your title and stay around. Like, you got to go.
They waste him Miss Amy's money. They waste him Miss Amy's money.
Hey, they gonna get paid anyway, right? Don't the coaches get their check anyway, regardless of if they get logo? Yeah. So my whole thing is like he kept his homie around, and now your homie not here. I mean, now you not here, but your homie's still here. Like, right. So I think and that hurts you. You know what I'm saying? You let him go. You released him of his duties. Let him go. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of that matters. It just calls for the understanding that coach is really just feeling his way through things. And no more experiments. We want a guy with understanding, even if you weren't successful before. I don't mind head coaches that's been fired before, because a lot of those guys learned a lot in that situation. But when you're bringing in a coordinator or any other guy that has never been a head coach before with no understanding of what they want to do, you're jeopardizing your future.
Yeah, I don't want nobody else with somebody else's last name that ain't really put their stamp on anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want nobody that sat around, I watched him do it, but if you've never actually called the plays, or been in that position of leading the team, or having to stand in front of your men and tell them an assignment and them having to believe you, no, that ain't for us.
Facts. I'm with you.
Podcasting for the masses, and I'm coming correct.